to do this here, it's like it would be like this. You have fires, right? And you want to divide it by population, right? Population, right? But the population has to be divided by 10,000 because you want to see fires for every 10,000 people, right? So this is the part that we want to do. H3 is the fires we're dividing, but because I have another division here, right? Usually, maybe people would write like this, right? So we're going to do like this. Which one is the population, right? The population, it's here. There are two populations here. The population before 2011, I think this is 2006, and then this is 2011. I'm picking the 2006 just for the sake of it. So this will be the P. So we have P3 here, right? Divided by 10,000 again. And then we close the parentheses. So this here that we're trying to do, this division, you write like this in Excel. And you have an equal sign there. So this is what I wrote up there. H3, P3, yada yada, right? And if you see when I move here, the only thing that changes is the number, right? Because that number is the row number, and the letters are the column letters, right? So that formula, if I just copy and paste in the different, below in the different lines, different rows here, I just get the same formula for every row. And then when I give enter, it calculates for me. So the number that is given here is the result of that formula. So you can use this type of calculation with any of the different accidents that you have here, right? And with the population to create this. And once you create it, you can save it. And once you save it, you can import it into ArcMap. And then you can put it together with the map and make a map. Any questions about the Excel formulas? Any other questions? Well, yeah, if it's not clear now, maybe it becomes more clear when you're trying to do it. And if it doesn't work when you try to do it, you can always either write me or Martin, or, yeah, I don't like to suggest this, but like about this stuff, there's a lot on YouTube that you can look at too. So, say, I just go and save it, right? Saved it, and I close it, and then I go to ArcMap, and then I'm going to, I want to add the data, right? I have this thing, and no, not this one, this one. Then I add it, and I pick the first leaf, and when you open, you see that data that was in the index here, and you see that variable that we created, fires per population, is there too. Maybe you should have picked a better name. You picked the name that fancies you best, but it's there. And you may also notice that you have, this was in the Excel file already. I didn't call attention to you, but we have this CONID, the community ID, the municipality ID. It's a number with 4 digits. When you go to our folder with the files, you see that there's this file called CONSV. Up to now I've been using CONOV, that's just Örnsköldsvik municipality. But this CONSV is the entire Sweden with all the different municipalities. So if I open it and add it, you see that, yeah, there's a lot more stuff because it's the entire country now. the whole Sweden. But we don't want the entire Sweden. We will get rid of it. We're gonna get that. So you have this nice accident data, and you have this nice Sweden map. So what we're going to do now is to join the accident data to the Swedish map, so that they can map finally the accident per population, for example, in the different municipalities in Västernorrland. So we go to this KNSV, joins and relates, join attributes from a table. Then you have this field that will be based on. This is where it becomes important, because you want to have this Cohen ID, the municipality ID, because you have 4 numbers in the map part, 4 numbers in the shape file, right? There's 4 digits for every shape, for every municipality. So if you have these numbers there in the numbers in the table, the computer can assign the right data to the right shape. So say if you have the 4 digits that represent Sollefteå in the map, and you have the 4 digits that represent Sollefteå in the Excel file, they're going to be joined. So you have, what do you want to join this layer to? Join to the table. Choose the field that this layer will be, the joins will be based on. Then you pick the ID. And then you go, what is the one that you want to add? Well, we picked the accident one. I didn't give any name to it because I was a bit lazy, but probably you will want to have a name that's easier to identify. And then, which field do you want to do? To use, to base the join on? Again, the ID. And then here you have the join options. And here's where we can choose if we keep all records or only keep the matching records. We want to keep only the matching records. Why? Because we only have accident data for the communes in this county. You only have for the municipalities in this county. But you have the map of entire Sweden. If we keep all records, you're going to have data in this county, and then you're going to have the rest of Sweden with empty data, and it's no use for you. So we choose keep only the matching records here, and then give OK. And see that all the other stuff disappeared, and you only have now this part of the country we are. Because all the other records, they were not in the Excel file. The Excel file didn't have Stockholm. The Excel file didn't have Luleå. So when we joined and asked to keep only the ones that match, everything that's not is gone. So we only have that map. And if you go here and you click on this layer and look at the attribute table, you see that you have the communes in this county. And you also have all the data that you had from Excel file. Right? All the data. That. And from here on, it's just like you guys did with the Quantile. So I'm just going to show it really quickly so that you sort of refresh. You can just go and go to the properties, and then have symbology, quantities, and you can pick that fires per population stuff that we created, right? And then you can just go and let's pick Quantile, just because we're used to that. And there you go. Then you have a map of the municipalities where you have lots of fires outside of buildings. I'm not saying that you guys have to do the fire thing. I did the fire as an example, but you have like car accidents and all sort of stuff that you can do. And also, because you have 2 time periods, like 2006 and 2011, then you can have comparison between the years and all the stuff. The instructions for the exercise, they say that the file has information for 2002, 2006, 2007, 2011. And like you should calculate, for example, the amount of occurrences for each type of accident for 10,000 people and then you create tables or maps, whatever is appropriate, and see if there's some pattern. And where is Örnsköldsvik as a municipality situated in comparison to the rest? So far so good? You guys get it? Good? And that will be the end of this part. So then of course it's not just doing the GIS stuff, you're going to write a memo, just like you wrote, and a lot of what applied for the previous one is going to apply, but this time it's going to be graded. It's not going to be just pass and fail. And you have like for 4 to 5 pages, Times New Roman, 12, size 12, 1.5 space, and the instructions tell you to have like attachment, like an appendix with the tables and the maps. But I know that Martin's the one who's going to read it, and last time he asked you to put the maps and everything in the text because it's easier to read. So if you want to make his life easier, you can put it inside the text instead of having an appendix. And also the way that you need to write it, you have to think as if you're writing this to somebody who is not an expert, somebody who's a general public, because you're supposed to be the expert in risk analysis and crisis, and you're writing this to the general public. So you think of this memo as a practice to how you would write the reports. No, this type of accident happened, and then there's a bunch of journalists and a bunch of people they're worried, asking about what's going to happen, and then you write as if you're writing to them. And that is pretty much it. We sort of end up a bit ahead of time, so we have time for questions. You can ask me any question about this, or about how things have been done. Did you want to ask?
No, it's okay.
All right. So no questions, great. Any questions about the previous assignment? About the A? No? All right. So since we skipped so many breaks, maybe we can just end up a bit early. All right? Thanks. One last announcement. Ule said that you should meet him opposite to Aquaberries in front of this bar, like the Old Elk or something, Old Oak, at 1:15.